By the end of 2020, Disney announced not less than 11 new Star Wars shows going to launch on Disney Plus over the next 3 years. 11. That's the amount of films we got in over 40 years now. But with the start of Disney's own streaming platform, Star Wars is now also experiencing a new hype wave, and with the Bad Batch already releasing in May, I decided to make a ranking on which upcoming show you can be most hyped for. Starting off at the bottom of our list, we have the animated Droid Stories series, and this might be a surprise for those who thought this is actually going to be a movie, people such like me. And I think the producers are also not quite sure yet what format it's gonna be exactly. But why is it so low in this ranking? While there is no doubt love for the long-time franchise hero 3PO and R2, there isn't much buzz about the upcoming project among fans. This is likely because there are already some droid stories existing, for example in some Clone Wars filler episodes, with all of them being nice to watch, but also not more than that. This is not to be said that it won't be worth seeing, but considering the other recently announced movies and series will explore new eras and characters, it's obvious this show is not the flagship project of the franchise. Number 10. Rangers of the New Republic. The new live-action series from the Mandalorian creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni promises to tie into the developing story that is being created by related spin-offs in the pre-sequel era. But since short after the announcement, the show seems to be star-crossed when the main actress Gina Carano aka Cara Dune was fired by Disney, and now it's not quite clear how or if the production will go on. Honestly, even with Cara Dune as a main role, there wasn't much anticipation yet, though that is likely due to the lack of information we have about the plot and background, and there are several other and more promising shows upcoming for the same era which also rank higher on this list. Even though there have been rumors about the main role being replaced by Rebels fan favorite Hera Syndulla, this doesn't overweight the problems this project has to overcome. Continuing, we have the anime Star Wars Visions show, and there are many fans claiming that this is not getting the hype it deserves. It didn't rank too high on many fans' personal lists, but remains an exciting addition to the Star Wars universe. Visions will be an anthology series of anime short films from a number of visionary Japanese creators and studios who are eager to leave their own marks on the Star Wars universe. Personally, I cannot really imagine Star Wars in anime style. I don't want to say that this is bad, rather the contrary. I'd like to see something experimental in the direction of Love, Death and Robots maybe, and when they'll focus more on a Star Wars-like feeling. But by now we have again simply not enough information to talk about a hype here. So, Mando Season 3. Well, no doubt that the last Mandalorian season met all claims and left pretty much no space for criticism, although the continuous, sometimes heavy use of fan service or bring back of characters, they did a good job and gave us a solid story with memorable peaks and great visual effects, all summed up in a great finale. And there's the problem. The finale ended this chapter of the 2-season long story, and they need to come up with something new for our shiny warrior. So by now there is no information and they probably still think about what they want to do with this show, but I definitely want to see more of it, so I'm a little hyped. Number 7. Lando. Fans were excitedly shocked by the announcement of an upcoming Lando series on Disney Plus that has raised a number of questions among, with one hyped redditor revealing they were thrilled at the possibilities. With 2 different eras of Lando Calrissian represented on the big screen by Billy D. Williams and Don Glover, fans aren't quite sure which direction the series will go in, though a storyline for the elder Lando was teased in 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. But concerning the logo design and the given possibilities, I'm pretty sure it's going to show us more of Lando's young years, and we have a very high chance for insights into the shady corners and personalities of the galaxy. Which means the plot will not unlikely deal with Darth Maul, if it continues the solo spin-off story. So definitely high potential here. The finale of The Mandalorian closed the book of his and Baby Yoda's story, but also opened the next one. The last episode ended with a post-credit tease of an upcoming series called The Book of Boba Fett, which showed Jango and Fennec Shan's takeover of Jabba's former palace on Tatooine, whose owner died few years ago if you remember. The Book of Boba Fett ranked high in polls and discussions and highlights the general excitement over the return of Boba Fett, who has now plenty of opportunities being the ruler of Tatooine. And that's enough for me to be excited what they do with these odds. So number 5, The Bad Batch. Yeah, I mean, besides a release trailer, some leaks, and that it's including the Clone Wars legacy, we don't know pretty much about this show so far, which is a little strange considering it's already going to launch in early May. So what we have so far are mercenary stories with familiar places, the clones becoming bad, and characters with lots of problems. It's a show which has interesting and nice story options on paper, but we are going to see what the creators do with the capabilities they have. I have already talked about what fans want to see in this show and what we absolutely don't need. Also, I hope they don't over-rely on fan service, as I have already discussed in another video. You don't have to pause here to watch them, I will link them at the end of this video. Concerning all the circumstances, this show only ranks so high because of the launch date standing on the doorstep. But don't get me wrong, I'm really excited for this one and it deserves the highest place for an animated show on this list. One of the most anticipated new series coming to the Star Wars universe is also one of the most mysterious, as little is known about the Acolyte beyond its setting in the High Republic era that is currently being explored in books and comics. The upcoming series is set to explore the dawn of the dark side during the closing days of the High Republic, which Redditors felt had a lot of potential and has fans excited to hear more about this surprising addition to the Star Wars universe. So a completely new galaxy we are going to see here, and so they have complete freedom in design and choices. Also, they announced that the show is going to go in the direction of a thriller or mystery setting, so I think that's the perfect setting for the rise of the dark side of an acolyte at the end of the High Republic. Long story short, I'm excited on this one. And now, finally reaching the top 3, we have Ahsoka. The character of Ahsoka Tano first appeared during the Clone Wars and quickly became a favorite among fans, which led to further appearances in series like Star Wars Rebels and more recently her live-action debut on The Mandalorian. Rosario Dawson will reprise her role from the Disney Plus series for the upcoming Ahsoka, which will follow the character as she presumably hunts down her prey from The Mandalorian, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Thrawn, originally a huge part of the Empire after the Emperor has fallen, was left beside by the new canon of Disney so far, but then finally made his appearance in Star Wars Rebels, at which finale he ended up disappearing in hyperspace, together with a young Jedi apprentice. With Ahsoka hunting for him now, we have high chances to see him and Ezra Bridger from Rebels again in a real-life adaptation. Maybe they also continue the story of how Emperor Palpatine could rise again, which was already kind of teased in The Mandalorian. Considering all the possibilities we have, there is very much to be excited for, and I can't wait to see the first trailer. On the runner-up spot, there comes Andor. When I first heard about this show, I thought like, who needs a Cassian spin-off? He's just a random rebel character who appeared once in a film and died. But then I randomly rewatched Rogue One and man, Diego Luna is so good at playing a dutiful spy who lives for the rebellion and makes use of all means to fulfill a mission. Also, Tony Gilroy is responsible for the show. That's the same guy who was responsible for the Bourne films, and I think this genre fits perfectly to the story of a rebel spy during the Galactic Civil War. I expect a mature feeling, hard and impactful decisions, and a calculating Cassian undercover who acts as a playball for the general's plans. So, perfect lineup for the perfect hype. Number 1. How could it be different? The Obi-Wan Kenobi show. If we are honest, this was not a quite fair ranking because it was clear from the beginning who would make the race. I mean, what do I need to say? We are going to see Space Jesus, Hayden Christensen and probably Qui-Gon Jinn again. The show will provide over 6 hours of screen time and it will show us the Tatooine life of the High Ground Master. In my opinion, Obi-Wan is one of the most likable characters of the prequels, maybe even the whole franchise. So, the fans are hyped, Reddit and Twitter is overflowing with comments and even McGregor hits the gym for the role. So I think that's pretty clear, number 1 most anticipated project. I just hope that with all the pressure they don't mess up anything, but I mean it's Obi-Wan, so not much the chance to do so here. And that's it for today guys, let me know in the comments which show you are most hyped for and why. I hope you liked the video, please consider to support me and I'll see you next week.